I know that it is in June, but almost 10 years ago, this was the hype train for me. This is the direct that made me a complete Nintendo fan at the time. And this direct was like, yes, this truly want a Wii U at that time. So this was all. This showed uh, a good future in a sense, but at the same time it was played with problems. But of course, as everything during the Wii U era. But this, well, we will have to watch it because Iwata himself says some stuff. But this is the example for me. Many people talk about E3 2014, and I recently watched a video where someone was trying to convince you why directs are worse now. Well, I know why they are worse now because now they feel fake, and he said that he said something like they feel like a company. But the thing back in the day is that they felt more honest. That's something that he should have said in that video. But anyways, a very easy line to say.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is Satoru Iwata from Nintendo. I'm coming to you from a large conference room on the 7th floor of the Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto.
You see? That's how honest this this thing is. This is insane. Well, I'm going to skip ahead, so I won't show you everything that I did. But the thing is that I catch this one live when I was in college, and I was late, so I was kind of mad. Oh, sorry. It is recording, right? Yes, it is. Okay. So this is Pokemon, and I don't care about Pokemon, and I think that this was already announced previously. I'm not sure. Wow, this looks terrible. Okay. Sorry, Pokemon fans, but I don't care about Pokemon. So the thing is that I think that this introduced many new features, but the game was already announced, so that wasn't very impressive. And Iwata talks about a little bit more about those features, but then I think that I catch the direct 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, right here.
On October 12th.
I catch this one live,
Let's take a look at it.
and I remember, what? I was so hyped for this. And I know, previously I commented that Super Mario 3D Land looked very slow in the trailer because Mario was just walking. And here you see him do more stuff, like a long jump. And then when he grabs the cat power-up, which is a very cool power-up, he does this. And it's like, wow, that's excellent. More exploration, the stages look bigger, the graphics look better. Some new introductions here, new stages. It looks fine. Multiplayer with different features for every character. That's great. I already noticed it. Like, wow, Mario Bros. 2, nice. And the graphics, well, the graphics have less effects here. Is it too loud, the music on the game? Let me... No, that's too low now. But the thing is that this trailer features a very interesting score, for so to say, because it has an ending and it goes higher here, an octave higher, I think. Well, there you see that the star power has no effects. By the way, I don't know if you can see my mouse. No, you can't. Well, the characters have no a color surrounding them. But well, I was very happy with this announcement. Well, there it is. But the thing is that once I watched this, I thought, well, this is the multiplayer 3D Mario game. When we will get Super Mario Galaxy 3, which is something that still doesn't exist. But I was still expecting Super Mario Galaxy 3, but I was okay with this because I loved Mario 3D Land, and it's a multiplayer 3D Mario game, which is new for me. well, it was new. It's still kind of new actually because it hasn't been truly a 3D Mario sequel in 3D multiplayer Mario sequel in that regard. Well, this was very new at the time. This was a totally new announcement, and Nintendo. Well, Satoru Iwata says it here.
For up to 4 players. The playable characters are Mario,
So this game had
Luigi,
those troubles
Toad,
going on.
and Princess Peach.
People are still waiting for Mario Galaxy 3, and this game not having online play. Although it had online play with Miiverse, where you could raise some ghosts, which was very cool. Sadly, it's a feature that doesn't work anymore. I like that Iwata said Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES. It's the only Japanese person I have ever heard say that. Of course, he's talking to an American audience, but many Japanese people don't know about that game being on the NES. They just call it Super Mario USA, or they just don't know it at all. It's like Mario Advance or something. Well, Cat Mario. Really cool. Most stages look complete. It's just that the game lacks some effects and some polish. But then, okay, so here is a problem. Super Mario 3D World, it was coming out in December, and the game has many glitches. But they planned on releasing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze earlier, which we will see later, so spoilers. But the thing is that with that game, they released it in February, so they had to make this game earlier. So they released it on Black Friday, on November 21st. So, well, probably a few weeks will have make it more polished. And this right after a new Mario game, Mario Kart 8, for the first time being shown. That was insane. Look at these graphics. Mario 3D World was releasing that same year, and Mario Kart 8 released in May of 2014, I think. But this was our first look on June of 2016. So we had to wait almost a year for this game. And the hype was real. This was the best-selling game on the Wii U. Of course, the best-selling game on the Switch. But on the Switch is like 11 or 12 times sold 11 or 12 times more than on the Wii U this game. That's insane. So, well, I'm gonna skip it a little bit because the trailer is a bit long, and for some reason my computer is not cooperating very well. Come on. Okay. Nope, no cooperation at all. So here it comes. This part of the trailer was extremely misleading to me. Look at this. What is that feature, I thought? That's why you add on the subtitles down there, you add not gameplay footage or something, or effect added, because I thought that was a feature in the game, that you could go faster. Well, you can go 200cc with an update, but anyways, that thing was misleading. Also, a friend of mine at the time at college watched the Super Mario 3D World footage. I forgot to comment this. And he asked me, "Is that for the Wii U?" And I told him yes. And he told me, "Oh, that looks like a 3DS game." Well, he probably saw this part with the lining not completed, but still, the game looks very blocky. That's one complaint that the game had. But it's a fine game. Well, anyways, it's already 10 minutes of direct. Satoru Iwata has explained the features for the Pokemon X and Y series or games, for Super Mario 3D World, and then he talks about Mario Kart 8. And I like that he says bikes from Mario Kart Wii and features from Mario Kart 7, which is pretty cool to say, to acknowledge. So here is the honest part of the direct. I was so hyped for this game because of all the presentations showing bits by bits.
that utilize the unique control schemes of the Wii U gamepad and Wii
And
Remote
I own this
controllers.
game, but I haven't played it that much
Additionally,
because no one wants to
a
play it with
Wii U
me.
time brand new
It's
minigame
another game that's
and
affected because
what's
of not
that
having
called
online,
tabletop
by the way.
minigames, which you can play with just the gamepad.
There is a mode completely
We are
dedicated to the
hoping
gamepad,
to
which is cool.
entice you
But
with
you will
this
expect the entire game to be played with the gamepad, but no, it requires a Wiimote.
everyone
That's why the game was
to
sold with a
transform
Wiimote.
gameplay using the gamepad.
Well, it looks great. It looks like
In
a
our
fine game.
January Nintendo
Listen to
Direct,
this.
I announced that this game is being developed for release this summer. However, we'd like to take a bit more time to continue to work on the game. Thank you for your patience. Also, during our Nintendo Direct in January, we announced that Wii Fit U will be
So
launching with
these
the
games are
release
getting
this summer.
delayed.
However,
The
we
plan
have
was to
decided
release them
create
through this year,
that
through
will
the
result
through
in as
2016.
high quality and experience as possible, including those
But
using
they delayed
Unity
both
Emulator
for a better
because
game.
the development has
We
required
Party U, I don't know what they did, but Wi Fi U, I understand
after
because
Wii U launch.
they added
It
some
didn't as
new
smoothly
features with
as
the
we had planned.
walker thing that they had.
Those of you that have been eagerly
Listen to this.
awaiting these titles, I appreciate your patience.
He was apologizing because of the long window of not games being released on the Wii U,
As I mentioned in our January Nintendo Direct,
which is something that many people complained online.
very high-quality
And to
drawings
this day, people say that,
players who have clearly
but people don't
demonstrated
say that Iwata
plenty of
said
time and energy
live on an
in
E3 presentation.
We have
By the way, I follow that
Miiverse
that one called me
this way
at the
before
time,
we launch
and
Wii U.
I downloaded all
But
the
then
drawings
we
that
started
she
to
did.
wonder
Well,
what users could accomplish
um,
if we provided them with more complete drawings.
Miiverse was great, by the way, and this is another great
Team
announcement.
to
by the way.
create software that would help us answer this question. Here it is. A new installment of the Art Academy series,
Okay, so already,
but
o-
we are not yet
already with the honest part,
on the other hand,
he said,
what is
"I'm
Art
sorry," or he said, "Thank you for your patience," which is better. It's better to say thank you than to say sorry. The thing is that We Party U, We Fit You were delayed by a few months and still releasing on 2016, but late. And then he announced that because they saw the development team saw them draw Miiverse drawings, they thought that it was a good idea. Sorry, to release a small section of the software Art Academy for people to draw more, you know. And they charged, well, he doesn't say price here, but he says pricing, and people probably thought, oh, he's going to charge for that. After all that he said. But the charge, it was so small, it was $4. And the software is really cool. I actually own it. And I think that they also did a discount for the software for $2. Or they offered it on Club Nintendo. So that's really cool. Here it is the third-party partner. So I will show that, but wait a bit. Wait a little bit. And I mean, can I? Okay. So after you see, this is a company that's listening in a way. You know, people were complaining at the time that the company is not listening, but we were also not listening because they were telling us we need more time and thank you for your patience. And also we saw what you did on Miiverse, so we're releasing an application that they could have charged the entire $25 for the entire software that they released later. But instead they released like a small section of the software that's pretty usable and a very good software, Art Academy Sketchpad, for $4. And with discounts and Club Nintendo and all of that. They had many discounts on this time also that I will discuss later, or I should discuss now. But Mario Kart 8 had a discount for Pikmin 3. Well, you had to choose one between 4 games: New Super Mario Bros. U, Pikmin 3, Wii Party U, I think, and The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which we'll also show here. And so far, well, that discount was very cool. But well, let me go back a bit. So far, the Direct has shown new games. Iwata has explained new features, has shown a bit more of games that were already shown with new features as well, like Wii Party U, Wii Fit U. Well, Wii Fit U wasn't shown at all, but it had a delay, and Pokemon was shown a bit more. And this is already a great direct for me, because there are games. Well, you will see that third-party releases were put in a sort of reel, so to say, so to speak. And nowadays, those third-party releases are shown so much, and well, of course, Nintendo wants to grab those releases, but some games I really don't care. For example, they invested like a small section of time talking about Mario Golf, I think, before the DLC, because after the DLC they kept talking about it. You keep founding on it, but they could have done showing features first, some features, then new features, and talk about a little bit more about them in an honest way, with developer interviews or something over the course before the release. But the game, of course, games nowadays are incomplete, and they have to release DLC, and I don't like that. Even if they are free, I don't like that. But anyways, but instead they have been talking about 2-Point Hospital, 2-Point Campus for so long, and I really don't like those games. I know that there's a fan base for them, but still, it's not like they are showing new features. They are showing just a little the game, but it's already the same, So I'm kind of mad about that on new directs. But well, it's like you notice that that publishers are paying the company to show more, and here Nintendo feels very honest, and every game here has almost the same time invested. So we have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I don't like Assassin's Creed, so I played 3 on Wii U, and it was a horrible experience. So I of course don't want Assassin's Creed 4, but I do want Batman. And Warner is one of the weird developers that actually supported the Wii U through its entire lifespan, including 2017 with Cars 3. So that's weird, But they still released all the Batmans that they could. And this game is also shown only on 3DS, right? But it was released on Wii U digitally. They could have released it physically, but they didn't. I also want this game. I have been planning on getting it for a long time. I own this game, and it's doesn't run very well on Wii U. Just Dance. Rayman Legends, I own it digitally, and I don't play it. I don't feel inclined to play it for some reason. Scarenaust Unmasked, I actually own it, and I can still buy it. There is a store that still has many copies, and the 3DS version I don't own, of course. Then we have Disney's Planes. Okay. Shin Megami Tensei 4, that's a big release, but they showed so little of it. But we already knew about most of these games, by the way. I forgot to say that. That's why it's also a reel, because we know about these games releasing. They just wanted to show them more. Well, you have Skylanders, Splinter Cell. I don't own those Skylanders, but I do own Splinter Cell and Sonic Lost World on Wii U digitally. And I play a lot of Lost World for some reason. Not Splinter Cell, I didn't like it. I thought that I would have liked it. And I want the 3DS version of Sonic Lost World. I'm very curious. I own Watch Dogs physically. And well, it doesn't look like that. It looks worse. And that's all the releases. Okay. So now digital games, and I usually skip these ones, but it's pretty interesting. You see, you have DuckTales here, Dungeons and Dragons, which was one of the better selling Wii U games on its last moment on the eShop. Mutant Mods Deluxe. Well, it's better on the 3DS. Sorry. Oddworld, New and Tasty, which is a remake of the original Oddworld. This game is Scrum Kitty. It's a very loved game, it seems, and I think that it was trapped on the Wii U. I have chosen it digitally and physically, so that's pretty cool. Spin the Bottle was pretty impressive for a pretty impressive release for the Wii U. I was surprised to see this. I don't remember who the developer was, and this game is trash, but it uses Mies. It's like Dodging the Giant in some way, but worse. And Dodging the Giant is an Intel 64 game of The Legend of Zelda. So that this is another pretty cool section. On January, Mr. Onoma showed pictures, just pictures. But now we will see a trailer. And they could have, in modern directs, it will be the new legend is reborn in HD. Watch as Wind Waker. And here again, it feels more honest. It feels more, what is it? I'm looking for this word. Humilde? Humilde? I don't know how to say it in English, but that's what I'm looking for. They just have the logo slapped there, and the trailer, you notice that it was barely put together. And they barely show any features, even though the game apparently wasn't that difficult to convert onto Wii U, but whatever. They could have done a better work. The game does drop frames, which is annoying. And they said that it was 1080p, and I'm not so sure about that. Is it? I think it is, but anyways. The game looks great, and the textures aren't changed. They are just filtered. So that's pretty cool. Everything has new filters. And this is the game that showed Aonuma again, once again, that a drawing style is better. That's why Breath of the Wild is like that. And well, here Mr. Iwata talks about new features and shows the new sail mechanic of going very fast, and talks about the tingle toner, which is probably the thing that I dislike the most about this remake. The tingle toner on the Game Boy Advance and GameCube was so good, and they replaced it with Miiverse. And for me, it felt like, Miiverse isn't that great to replace this. Is it?
Once you receive the Tingle bottle item from Tingle, you can start posting on Miiverse. It's like putting a message in a bottle and throwing it into the ocean.
It's a cool feature, but the Tingle toner is so much better. It could have made for a very cool multiplayer experience. And with the Wii U controlling with the touch screen or whatever, would have been great. I also like here this point here. The couple will look at each other in that place, which is like those videos that are becoming popular in gaming nowadays, that people notice new features in old games. Well, they have always been there. Well, now for the wonderful 101. And this one, I own it digitally, and I found a few glitches that got me very angry with the camera. And the game, I just have problems scrumming between wanting the formation or with the combat and watching the gamepad. And this is probably the game that I struggle the most with that. People struggle with Star Fox Zero, but this one is so much worse for me. Star Fox Zero, I actually can't play it. I enjoy it a lot, but on this one, I know that you can do it with the stick if you don't want to do it with the gamepad, but it's better with the gamepad.
A bigger symbol on the screen means more heroes will unite, and the unite more.
I don't know, it just annoys me, these games a bit. And I bought it because people wanted to support Platinum games on the Wii U. But the game is difficult. Another title that we're announcing for the first time. And this is... oh my god. So this game was delayed, but this was so great. Oh, okay, we already have a new Mario 3D game with multiplayer, a new Mario Kart announced, a trailer, the first trailer for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, even though we saw some pictures, and a new Donkey Kong game. So this direct is already great. You know, you can show new IPs or whatever, but just watching this, and I like what he says here. What he says. Well, okay, what he said later is that this is the first Donkey Kong in HD, and that's another appeal that the Wii U had that people forgot for some reason or didn't know. It's HD. And just watching these franchises making the jump to HD was great for me, you know. Even though the Wii, you could mod it and play it on PC in HD or whatever. Here it is. Donkey Kong Country in HD graphics. It looks great. And this section. I remember showing this to some people and being impressed. So the Wii U had something going on. Even though and also they show this another hype section of the direct. In addition to Diddy Kong. Yeah. That was very cool. Well, then we have Bayonetta 2, and I think that they already talked about Bayonetta 2. It says available November, but it released February. Well, bad date, by the way. February, bad date to release that game. You weren't able to see Bayonetta from the front, so now we're gonna show a little bit more. Of course, you will show a bit more. Look at this. Here it is. Psh. That's the front. Okay, that's great. That's funny. Well, this trailer is a bit too much, and again, not gameplay. So we still had no gameplay, and we have a new haircut. Oh, wait. There is gameplay. Hold on. I forgot about that. This is our first gameplay to Bayonetta 2 at that time. So that's really cool. And he says it, of course. Oh my god, it lags. It's my computer, probably. No, that's the game. Or my computer. I don't know. This is laggy. Well, okay. It looks great. That's the point. It looks great, it plays great, and I think this is our first showing, again, first trailer for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Bayonetta 2, even though we know it existed. And for the first time we know about Mario 3D World multiplayer, it's a multiplayer game, whatever, Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong, and we see this now, and it's like, what? It's almost, this direct is almost done, and they still are announcing insane stuff. Let me skip a bit. I still don't own an scale. A scale. I still don't own an scale. I do want it though. This game is actually insane, by the way. This trailer is a bit misleading though, because some sections don't look like that at all. Some sections look so high definition compared to the final game, but the final game still looks excellent. And if you were able to install the packs, the eShop packs, you will, well, of course they presented it like X and nothing more. But if you were still able to download the eShop packs, you will get a pretty cool experience on the Wii U. But if you use the disc, you will notice many pops in. People just reading Monolith Soft, everyone knows it's Xenoblade Chronicles. And nowadays we see Xenoblade Chronicles all the time. But at this time it was like, what, a new Xenoblade Chronicles? That's insane. The other was barely bought because too few copies. And this one looks insane. The other one was a technical masterpiece on the Wii, and this one will be a technical masterpiece on the Wii U, and it is. So that's a great thing. It's already very, this direct has been very varied. Well, the problem is that the game, he said 2014, it released on 2015. One final game. What could it be? Oh my god. Our first showing of Super Smash Bros. And oh no, a new Animal Crossing? No, it's a Smash, but still. Nintendo teased us with new Animal Crossings all the time. This is probably one of the hypest trailers ever released. Well, we see the 3DS version here, and this is for me, this is the game that destroyed the Wii U. Releasing a 3DS version was very cool, and I agree, cool version. But from an investment standpoint, if you want to save the Wii U, you shouldn't have released a 3DS version. Well, now, wow. Well, the game doesn't look like that, but it still looks good. It's 1080p 60 FPS, probably one of the only ones. Because Wind Waker HD is probably 1080p, but Rayman Legends, I think that it was 1080p 60 FPS as well. Oh, okay. So I showed this to my friends at college, I remember, and they were like, what? It was the hype train started at the time. And people were saying, yeah, I'm going to buy the 3DS version, not the Wii U version, of course. And now the direct ended. It's over. So thanks for watching, everyone. What is this? Oh my god. He still hypes me this moment. I remember that they did a poll or something during the Brawl era, and I voted Mega Man. Because I thought, yeah, this is a classic character, it needs to be there. Well, here he is. And he died, of course. He's dead. But the trailer looks so good and so good quality. Look at this. It looks great. And with that team, they made the internet go nuts. I don't like that team that very much, but people really enjoy it. So, well. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I don't care as much as other people. Mega Man has better soundtracks, but anyways. I remember there was a medley from Nico Nico Duga, that Japanese site, that used this track. So you know, pretty loved in Japanese culture as well.
We will open the official Smash Brothers website.
As soon as I saw this, I entered the Smash Brothers website. And well, I had no Miiverse at the time because I had no Wii U, and the 3DS had no Miiverse at the time. The Wii U, just the Wii U had Miiverse. Once I got the Wii U in December of 2016, 3DS got an update for Miiverse. And he is, and I thought, and you would think, this is done, right? No. Nobody does this. Not even press like IGN or something. They just show a vid or something. But I enjoy this. I enjoy this a lot because the video is done, right? But
we announced that we are not going to be doing a presentation like we did in previous years.
Of course.
And there were news articles that said Nintendo is not going to E3, which is not true.
Not
This
true.
year's Nintendo booth is a big
News articles wrong.
Now I would like to show
But
those
well,
of you Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo is the first one to not do a presentation on E3 of the big companies, and now, well, E3 is dead nowadays.
There are many demonstrations in
Look at
this
this.
booth. Just for Wii U, there are 71.
71. Holy
You
shit.
can see the Nintendo
There is Luigi talking and Luigi vacuuming
You can play
there in the
Zelda,
background.
Mario and Luigi, and Yoshi game. If you look up, you can see signs of our game
Yeah.
display. Attendees can play
I own Mario Luigi Dream Team and Link's Between World. Those games are really good.
Shall we go to the Pikmin area?
Here in my country, there was a presentation or an event, and they brought Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze demo, and Super Smash Bros. Before it released, and I couldn't assist, and I was so angry.
The Pikmin section.
Then I was able to assist for Super Mario Odyssey,
Oliver takes a break.
and I did
3 new
a queue
characters.
of 2 hours
Here we
just to
see
play Super Mario Odyssey for 15 minutes. It was 10 minutes, but they saw that I was so good at the game that they let me play 5 minutes more. And I didn't like it.
begin.
I mean, I liked the game, but the Joy-Cons were so small.
I'm sure
My
those
first time
in
playing with Joy-Cons at the time.
about their experiences.
Anyways,
You look
I really
forward
enjoyed
to
this.
that too. To those of you in North America, you can play some of the games.
And I was so jealous about this as well.
For more details, please look at our
I think that Mario Kart 8 was also available here in my country. Well, I'm gonna pause. No, just let it there, sitting there. You will see that we have E3 2018, which is also cool, but this E3 of 2016 really touched my heart. So let's recap. New Smash, new Donkey Kong, new Mario 3D multiplayer, new Mario Kart, new Xenoblade Chronicles game, which is the most unique Xenoblade Chronicles to date, by the way. And I'm not disregarding the others. I'm just saying that Xenoblade Chronicles X is different. I don't know. I feel more involved in that one. It doesn't feel like your typical RPG experience, and the others also don't. but it feels definitely different than everything else I have played in terms of RPGs. It's like it doesn't ask you that much, but well, you can play it at your own pace. I think that Xenoblade Chronicles X will work excellent for a portable device in that sense, because you can do many tasks in short time rather than advancing the story and just pausing and saving everywhere. You will feel more completed by playing Xenoblade Chronicles X portable, but I am glad it's on the Wii U, because Smash Bros. Wii U has that very same problem with the, well, people call it a problem, the new movements that you need to lock. It's a really long grind, and that will be great for a portable device. And the Switch has the stickers, but the stickers are so easy to get. I don't feel completed like in Smash Wii U, which is, I find it very hard to complete, and I really like that in a sense. Well, Smash Ultimate, it's hard to complete. And the pre E3 2012, I don't remember what this was, but in the other, I think that it was just talk about how Nintendo was doing, so that's pretty interesting. And well, they talked more about Pokemon Waterfall 101. And this is the January direct that Iwata mentioned. This is the February direct where they talked about the year of Luigi. And this was the one, well, I already did commentary for that one. So, well, this was my favorite E3. And you will notice why. New games, new features on games. Finally, trailers on games that we were expecting, like Zelda, Wind Waker, and Bayonetta 2. And it was very honest about the drought of games, the delays, and also showed a bit more of the show floor, which I truly wanted to see for myself. But it's cool that it is documented on a video and by Mr. Iwata himself. In fact, there is one last thing that I want to say. Mr. Iwata did an unboxing of the Nintendo Wii U, and it's the best one. I mean, it's the video that you need. For the collectors out there, if you want to know how a video game system was saved in a box, you have to watch that Iwata presentation. Well, anyways, that's all for me. This video is almost as long as the presentation, so have a good day.